Hi everybody, this is Crafting with Purple. Some people on my Facebook page, facebook.com/purpleology, and that's PURPLEOLOGY, posted these really cute bows, and some people were having trouble making them, and I had never made them before, so this was my first try. I kind of flattened that one out a little bit. This is the one I did just a minute ago, second one. I'm getting a little bit better at this. So I thought I would do just kind of a slower video than the one they posted, to see if that helps all of my friends. Let me put these off to the side. I woke up in the middle of the night and this was on my page, so I'm just trying to see now. I apologize for that's not focused out. I'm trying this on my iPad, and I've never done this before, doing this kind of a video, so hopefully this comes out. So in my case, I'm using a double-sided sheet of paper. If you were using where there was a pattern, you want your pattern to be in the center. Your white would be on the back side. And the first thing I'm going to do is, in my case, I'm going to do my triangles. So point to point, smooth it down. You want really sharp creases, so you might want to go over multiple times. Make sure your creases are super, super sharp. I'm just going in the other direction to make my point to point. Okay. Then I'm going to do the squares, so side to side. Match that up. Match that up. Again, you want to crease really well. All these creases are intersecting right there in the middle of the point. And of course, I'm going to do the other side to side. And I apologize, I really enjoy origami. I've never done an origami video before. So hopefully, and at the bottom in the comments when I post this, I'll put the very fast video of the one where I learned on. Okay. So just for those people to see all the different lines that are here. And sorry I can't go out because I'm on my iPad doing this. So I don't have a in or an out. But we want to end up with that square. So what I always do is I just kind of bring this towards me, and then it just automatically just kind of folds right into place. And I have this nice diamond shape, square, whatever. Here's all the little folds. Okay. And so we've got a point here at the top. I'm just going to turn it around. I'm actually off to the side here to the right, so I'm over here. Okay, so if this was you, you'd be point down and fold that point up. So I'm sorry, I'm working from the side because that's where I'm hanging out, my tablet. If I had the tablet in front of me, I wouldn't be able to see what I was doing. And I'm just pointing up just a little bit. I didn't measure. Okay. If you kind of want to see the amount, it's about that much. And we're doing what's called a sink. So there's that fold that we made. Make sure it's nice and down really nice. And if I opened it up, well, this one that I did is a mountain fold. I mean, that goes up. These others are not. So I need to go around and make sure that the fold, just reinforcing the fold so that it's a mountain fold. And I'm just going all the way around. And then what I want to do is I want to fold back down into my shape. Remember, my point was up there. There's that little table that we made. And I need to fold my table in. So the point goes down. That's on the inside. Usually it's called a sink fold at this point. And I fold in the two sides. Trying to watch what I'm doing and watch what's on the video at the same time. It's kind of interesting. Make sure my points are there. So I'm going to hold down my points. Here's the top part. I'm holding down my points. And I'm just going to kind of push that all together. Okay, and it's got a sink that's in there. Okay, that makes sense? You need to get to this point. If you can't get to this point, you're not going to get any further. Okay, now, if you notice, we've got 4 layers, 2 on each side. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take, I'm trying to make it so it's point down to you because this is how I normally work, is we're going to take this end, and we have that center line, and we're going to make it so that that point goes to that center line. Does that make sense? Okay. I'm going to turn it so that I can work on it. So I'm going to fold it down and crease. Does that make sense? Okay. I'm going to do that on the other side here. Match that up. Okay. I'm going to flip this over and do the exact same thing now on the other side. Now somebody's going to be asking me, why am I working in blue when I like purple? Well, that's because until I really know what I'm doing on stuff, I have my waste paper, and this is my waste paper. And my purple wasn't handy, and I didn't want to go into my craft room to go find it. Okay, so now we've got this done on both sides, and we're going to open it up gently. Now, if you were working with a pattern paper, your pattern would be on the inside. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to open it very gently. I'm not trying to keep those creases right that I had created on the back side. And just open it very gently. Lay it down. You're going to find this button pops up. That's that table. And I'm just going to go ahead and give it a little smush. Smush it down. That locks everything into place. Okay, so you want to make sure you've smushed it down, and that's what we've got. Okay, here's the back side. Okay, here's the front. And that button, okay, if you remember, here's that little button. That's what we just created. Oops, my little bow popped out. If you're finding that your bows, your little ends pop out, you might want to pop in a little glue to kind of hold it in place. But if you're not playing with it, it won't. But you might want to just dab a little glue in there, hold it in place for just a minute to hold it. Okay? So that's that little button that we've made. So now what we need to do, this is not really true origami, in that we are going to do some cutting. And we're going to come over to the back side, and if you notice, we've got these edges, and we're going to cut along those edges. So I pulled out my emergency little knife that's on my pocket knife here. Of course, it is purple. There's my keychain. It's all purple and red. My little emergency whistle. You always need that. I couldn't find a key cover to go over my thing that was purple, so red has to work. For those of you who don't know, I'm part of the Red Hat Society. I love wearing purple. I did that before I became a member of the society, so almost everything I own is purple. Actually, I think everything is purple. And then my hats are red. So anyways, but I'm going to go ahead and cut up along these edges. So I'm just going to put my knife in there and kind of cut and slice just up to the point there. I'm going to do that on each of the edges. And excuse me while if I'm not quite at the right angle for you to see what's going on. Okay, so I'm just cutting those open. There's 4. That was 2. And I'm just working up the channel up to that point. And I've got 1 more to go. Okay, so there we go. We've kind of got it kind of cut. Okay. Now I need to start making this part of the bow. We're going to be making this part of the bow. So, in order to do that, okay, I'm going to again make sure I'm on the back side. How do I know the back? That's the front because it has our button. This is our back side. Okay, and I want to work on the bottom points. And if you're looking at it, you've got 2 points that are at the top. They're on top. You can see that these are on the top. And you've got 2 that are basically on the bottom. And we're going to be working on the bottom one. So this top piece is kind of in my way, and I'm just going to fold it over. And here we go. We have this point, and I'm working on this point here. So I'm folding it over. Excuse me for using my middle finger. It's the way I tend to work when I'm doing origami. We're going to fold it right to our line from our point up. And we're going to smooth it down. Okay. I need to finish my point. Well, of course, I can't get to it. So I'm going to fold that over. I'm going to go ahead and lift this one over. It lifts right over because that's because we cut. I'm going to twist it just a little bit so that I can work on it. Okay. I'm going to fold it over so it matches where I just folded, which is that line. Lunge it over a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to show you what we did. So I've made that first point. Okay. I now need to do it on this side. Again, I'm going to flip it over onto the back. I need to work on this point. So I'm going to fold it over to the center line. Okay, I can't get to here because these little flabby doodles are in the way. So I'm just going to go ahead and just carefully just lift them over. You don't want to work your paper too much because that's how you start ripping things. I'm going to finish up my point. Okay, so there we go. Now we have to make, so there I'm showing you there's that point again, just like what I've made there. Now we have to make the little ribbons that come down. Okay. So in order to do that, the first thing we have to do is we have to cut up the center line. Okay, I'm going to flip it over to the back because I just like working from the back side. So kind of match up your points on those two pieces. Take your knife, and we're just going to cut right up the center line. And I'm just cutting right up just to that point. So now we have our two pieces that are going to become our ribbon. Sorry, I went off camera. Okay. So each side has two sheets of paper, and we're going to fold them together just as if they're one. So I'm going to take the short side first, and I'm bringing it over. And the video, I really wasn't sure where I wanted to put it, so I just I'm eyeballing it. I'm making kind of just folding it over. I'm not really quite going all the way to the point. Didn't really quite fit. And then the long end, I go from where I cut to whatever the point is that I now created. So I'm just going to fold it up here. Make nice sharp folds. Fold it up to the front so you can see that I made a nice long ribbon. I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side. All right, we've got a long end and a short end. I'm always doing the short end first. Two sheets together, folding it over. I'm kind of just making it so that line's going pretty much parallel. That line is parallel when I fold it over. The long end now needs to come over. So I go from where I cut to the point that I just created. That's down here. And I fold it over. Okay. Now we have our two ribbons. And if you like it like this, you can just leave your ribbons like that. In the original video, they cut a notch. So let me go ahead and cut that notch in. So they basically cut off this triangle by just kind of making a notch, coming up one side, coming up the other, to make our ribbon. I wanted my ribbons to be symmetric, so what they didn't show you, but I found was easy for me, is you can fold this just in half right now if you want to. And lay the ribbons on top of one another, and that way you can use what you already cut to make a template here. Just holding it together really quick. I have to orient it so that I can cut it. Remember, I'm off to the side of the camera. You need to go ahead and turn things however you need to so that you can cut them. And so there we do. We've got our little ribbons. Clean it up. So there we go. We've got our 2 little ribbons. Okay. Get my scissors out of the way. Now to finish it up, we just take our little points and we tuck them into the little button that we made. And only going to go so far. Just kind of tap it a little bit. It'll hold it down. And if you're finding that your little points aren't staying in, again, what I mentioned is you might want to just go ahead and take that point, put in some glue before you stick it in, and there we've got our bow. So I hope that craft was helpful. I'm going to throw this up on my YouTube channel, and I will link in the comments. I just lost my train of thought. The original video that I saw that's much faster. So thank you for crafting with purple.